Good morning, lovely, beautiful people. It is January 22nd, 2024. This is episode 54 of the Paul Green Comedy PaulCast. I hope you're all doing well. Your journey is shaping up. You're finding joy and success and fulfillment in your journey. I, on the other hand, have been in a major funk this week. Man, my mental health took a real decline. My enthusiasm, my encouragement. Man, yeah, it's been interesting. I've just been in a weird malaise, if you will. I've been trying to just analyze like what I think's going on with me. The first thing is I did not sleep well at all this week. I told this story earlier this week about how Hertz is trying to F me over. Hertz rental car, by the way. Yeah, and I just allowed that to like really throw me off for some reason, which is kind of weird. But then, like I had a couple sleepless nights. And so then I'm really tired. I mean, and I'm talking like all-nighters. And then I had a show Thursday night, which actually went really, really well. I had an incredible show. But Friday and Saturday, I had 4 shows at sort of my home club where I perform all the time. And I just did not do well. And, oh, man. And, I've talked about how most of the time, if comedy isn't going well, it's the comedian's fault and not the audience. Yeah, this was definitely the comedian's fault. The audiences for all 4 shows were incredible. Great audiences, enthusiastic. All the other comics were rushing it and doing really well. And I just could not get out of my own way. I don't know. It was weird. It was just a weird experience. I was in this funk. I was overthinking everything. I tried all 4 shows. I tried something different to try to like work through this sort of funk that I was going through. The first show that I did strictly crowd work and improvised a song, which those of you who follow my stuff know that that's kind of my thing, is I like to riff with the audience, do crowd work, and then take whatever the audience just talked about and then improvise a song about them. I tried that. I mean, I recorded that set and I just watched it, and it wasn't as bad as I made it out to be in my head, but it definitely wasn't like, I wasn't killing it. And that audience in particular was incredible, and every comic who went before me and after me slayed that room. That audience was like the perfect comedy audience. So the fact that I wasn't able to get that audience to laugh was just not, or laugh as hard as the other comics were being able to get them to laugh, because they were willing and wanted to laugh hard. And I don't know. So then I was like way in my head. And then the 9:00 show, I was going, okay, I'm not going to do any crowd work. I'm just going to do the set that I've been doing more or less this about past 6-7 months. I kind of have my go-to set of material, and that set, it just didn't do well. And the problem was while I'm on stage, I'm also really over analyzing and judging what I'm doing. And so I'm sure I wasn't being as present with it. And again, these are good audiences. These are audiences who want to laugh. They're not rude. They're not being difficult or anything. I am just not doing very well. And then it's kind of the spiral. I was already in a funk. I already had lost a ton of sleep. And now I'm not doing well, and then the more I don't do well, then the more I get in my head and the more I struggle. So the Saturday shows, I tried to regroup, and the Saturday early show, I also really struggled. And then the Saturday late show, I did all, not new material. I did a totally different set. Material I hadn't been doing in a while. I'm just going to drop my new set, even though it's done very well. I'm just going to do a set of older material and call it good. And yeah. And then yesterday, so this is Sunday, I was just in a weird funk, like emotional. It was weird. I finally was able to catch up on some sleep, which I think helped a little bit. Because I'd lost just a ton of sleep. And then I had almost forgotten that I had my open mic to host. And it's like I didn't even want to go. It was bad. I get to my open mic, and there's a comic who's a regular at this open mic that I host, and really great guy and really great comic. And I see him before the mic. I'm sitting down. He's like, "Hey, Paul, how's it going?" I'm like, "Man, I'm just having a tough week." And he goes, "I'm not used to hearing that." I'm going, "Yeah, I'm struggling, man. I had these bad shows, and now I'm in that head funk of what am I even doing? And I should quit comedy and quit life and quit everything." And he was very gracious, and he said that, he goes, "I actually watch your podcast." And he goes, "I love it that you're very honest about what you're going through, and knowing that you struggle." He goes, it actually helps me a lot knowing that a comic who I really respect struggles as well." And that was really sweet of him to say that. And just to know that, okay, I'm putting myself out there. I'm doing the best that I can. I don't always crush it yet, but that there are other comics who are looking up to me to some degree and are, glad that I'm out there doing what I'm doing and doing this podcast and doing comedy. So that was really nice. I appreciated that. And I did the open mic. I tried all new material, which was fun. It went okay. It's always hard to know at an open mic, but I'm still trying to write every day, still trying to pop out new material, still trying to refine the old material, still putting myself out there every day on social media. And man, I'll tell you, it can be tough out there. And that is one of the main reasons why I decided to do this podcast as someone who has big dreams and big ambitions, and just to be very transparent about the reality of going for something and how challenging it can really be at times, and how, man, you can just get beat down. I can just get beat down. And I'm generally a fairly optimistic, happy-go-lucky person, but even I can get in some pretty discouraging funks from time to time. And so when I got home from the open mic, I didn't go home from the open mic. I went and grabbed some dinner. I was like, we can go have some nice dinner. I went to a restaurant I really like, watched the rest of the NFL playoffs, and then I went home, and first thing I did was I cleaned my room, because my room was a disaster. It's like I was sick 2 weeks ago, and so I was barely productive. And then this last week, my sleeping schedule was completely off. I mean, I'm talking like all-nighters, and then trying to like grab naps during the day in between work, and then not being able to sleep for like multiple nights on end. And so being able to I got some sleep last night and some sleep yesterday. And I'm going, okay, I just need to start getting myself back on track here. And let's just start with my room. My room was a disaster, just pizza boxes and clothes and soda cups and, just not tidy. And for those of you who follow Jordan Peterson, his big thing is clean your room. That's step number one to anything is clean your room. So I'm like, boom, I'm going to do that. So I cleaned my room, and then I cleaned my bathroom, and then I cleaned up my podcast room, because some good news is I'm actually, later today, I am going to have another comic come in and be a guest on my podcast, which I am really excited about. And I've decided I want to start doing that more and more often. Honestly, as often as I can, to start interviewing people, just because I just know so many incredible comics who, again, maybe aren't super famous or who aren't well known, but are just incredibly funny, talented, ambitious people going for dreams and have incredible stories. And I am really excited to give them opportunities to share their story and put it out there. But for all you dreamers out there, it can be, you can have yourself some days, you can have yourself some weeks, sometimes it's months, and maybe even it's a year or two of just grind. And it's particularly frustrating if there is not like substantial evidence. It's like I've been flooding social media for, I've been posting consistently for a year, at least something. Now, I've been a little up and wish-washy in terms of what type of content I'm posting. And then about a month and a half ago, I decided I am going to post reels 3 times a day. I'm going to post my stand-up comedy. I'm going to post something like me doing something more like comedic acting or improvisational. And then I'm going to post a clip for my podcast. I'm going to post every single day. And I've done that for almost 6 weeks. And the results have been so negligible. Nothing's going viral. I'm not blowing up. I am seeing very small, steady increases. I think my TikTok, I've gained maybe 20 followers in that 6 weeks, maybe a little more, of posting 3 times a day. My Instagram, I've lost followers. There's a whole other reason for that I don't want to get into. My YouTube has done pretty good. My YouTube, I've gained maybe about 100 subscribers. But again, none of that is numbers that actually mean anything in terms of having an online following that can be monetized. Like it's not monetized. It's not significant enough for me to earn money on the social media side, and it's not significant enough for me to get opportunities to get booked or, to have an agent or a manager or somebody look at that and go like, oh wow, yeah, this kid's really doing it. Yeah, we need to sign him. But it's at least growth. But man, it can just be so challenging, especially, everybody says, well, not all results can be measured. I don't know if everybody says that, but comedy is subjective. Not everybody's going to like everything or whatever, but there are definitely comedians who get millions of views on their videos. So statistically, those comedians have a lot more people who find them funny online than the statistics would show for me. That's objective numbers. So, yeah, man, it can just be so tough to just get up the next day and be like, nope, I'm going to post 3 videos again. Nope, going to do a podcast again. Going to put it out there every single day and hope that someday something that I post will hit the right algorithm. It'll be the right type of funny, the right type of audience, and trick this nebulous algorithm, this massive artificial intelligent brain that just determines what happens online and what videos get shown to what accounts, and it's really something else. So I am sorry that I'm a little down today, especially those maybe who are listening to this for some motivation and some inspiration. But man, that's just not reality. And again, I just did this podcast to be as real and as transparent as possible for everybody out there who has a dream and is going for something to listen to this. And I'm just sharing my journey, and I'm just trying to be honest, and I'm not trying to pretend to be or feel things that I'm not feeling or thinking or experiencing. And the only thing that I got is now an unwillingness to quit, an unwillingness to say, oh, well, I didn't blow up in 6 weeks, I should throw in the towel. It's like, well, no, this is a long game for me. And, that doesn't mean that I'm not willing to try to adjust and experiment and maybe try different approaches and, all of that. But I am still driven by a certain compulsion. Is that the right word usage for that? I'm being compelled? I don't know if compulsion works in that tense. Look at that. I'm even second guessing my own vocabulary live on this podcast. Just, that second guessing, that was the inner dialogue that was going through my head when I was doing stand-up comedy all weekend while actually doing material, which has been working phenomenally. Actually doing the same set that I did Thursday night, which absolutely killed. It's just so fascinating that the exact same set, the exact same material from one night to another night can have such drastic different results. And sometimes it can be the audience, but in this case, it was not the audience. In this case, I got to take full responsibility. The material was not working as well because the comedian, aka myself, was just not present with it. I didn't have the right energy. I wasn't empathetic. I was just so in my head and so critical that I couldn't even get out of my own way. So I am going to move forward. Like Jim Perry said in our interview yesterday, just one day at a time. Just wake up the next day and do it one day at a time. I am really excited to talk to Ezra Stormont, who's the comedian I will be interviewing later today. And we'll see how the day goes and how I can pull myself out of this funk and move forward and start to get back on track emotionally and all of that fun stuff. So I love all of you so much. If any of you are in a funk or not feeling great, like I have been the last couple of days, you have my love, you have my support. Just know that that is so common, and you're not alone in that journey, and you're not alone in those experiences to just wake up and think, what the heck am I doing? So you have all my love, you have all of my support, and I will continue to move forward through this little funk that I'm in, and hopefully we can move through that together, and we can have some positive, joyful experiences on the other end of this. Sound good, everybody? All right. I love you all so much. This has been January 22nd, 2024, episode 54 of the Paul Green Comedy PaulCast. I love you all so much, and I will talk to you tomorrow with Ezra.